Welcome, welcome, race fans. This is Ron with Big Wizurd TV. We are just kicking off the stream here. We are live on the air, and we are bringing you some racing action here from Zandvoort, Circuit Zandvoort in the Netherlands. And I'm here in the broadcast booth, I believe, accompanied by first-time broadcaster, not first-time racer, Maddie Parker, winner of the last feature race. Hey, Maddie, how's it going tonight? Oh man, I'm doing fantastic. Just got down out of the airplane here a couple hours ago and drove over to where I'm working this week. Sunday night travel action, and made it just in time to broadcast the JNR GT3 Contender Series, which you did very well in and won. Congratulations, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it was it's a nice track. It's a good track to drive. I'm from Australia, so we don't normally drive on the left-hand side cars as well. So, but they are a fun car to drive, and on this track, it's just good. Very, very good, and looking forward to see how these guys go in this one. I was thinking about having a run with them, but I'm a little bit bummed out after the last one. I think I might, do it next one. I think.
Yeah, you're always welcome to jump into the GT3 challenge. It's definitely the tight premier event. We've got, I think there was 7 cars in the 33s in the practice session. We'll see where they go. They're just starting their first lap. First time laps is Josh Baling, Jason Rabe. You can see those guys' teammates in Dad Bod Racing there in the matching Porsche 911s, the green and yellow cars. They started, it looks like they're on the point. Somebody else is out in front of them. Oh, Robert Rattray. He's actually their teammate. I can't see Robert's number from that little tiny screen, though. That's the hard part now, is finding them. He's in the 33.
I'll just get in the session up so I can see what's going on.
Yeah, Robert's their teammate in the Porsche. I think from what I've seen from these guys, they work together as the three of them. They all run the same car week to week. Well, they all run the Porsche, because you can't change cars in the GT3 Challenge Series or you'll lose points. Although there's an off track for Robert. That's going to mess up his first lap. But I think what they do is they share setups between their teammates here. And these guys in Dad Bod Racing are really throwing it down. They're up in the lead in the team points battle. And they've had a really good week last week with all 3 drivers in the top 5. Only the top 2 get points, but if you're all up there, you're taking those points away from somebody else. So these guys are tough to beat.
Sort of, because I'm not racing every week, it's sort of, in the other series, it's like, I try and leave a bit of room and try and not, sort of impede on other guys that are actually up in the championship. But good bunch of guys. We don't seem to have any real setups in the other league. I generally race with the baseline. Yeah.
Well, there's these guys being the team. I think they actually work on them themselves as a team, and they go out and build those setups and get them ready for each other. But I don't think
if you didn't.
Yeah. I mean, they're out there. I mean, there's not a lot at stake, I mean, East to West Racing's a lot of fun to race in. It's a great bunch of guys and gals to race with, but at the end of the season, all you get is a little plaque. It's not like, but hey, you get a plaque. You don't get that everywhere.
Nah, 100%. We race in the V8 Veterans League here in Australia, and the supercars, and we just race for notoriety.
Yeah. We started that off with our sponsor, one of our awesome sponsors that sponsor Big Wizurd TV is Stair Fittings Incorporated, and they were actually taking care of the trophies for everybody. That was kind of part of my deal when I went in and talked to him. That is actually my uncle. That's why he's called Uncle Don on the racetrack. That is actually my Uncle Don. And he owns the company Stair Fittings Incorporated, so they decided to jump in and race. And
plug.
What's that?
There's a plug, Vince.
There you go. Yeah.
We were going to do that in our league, but everyone goes, we've got too many trophies. We don't want more dust collectors.
Yeah, I don't know if our guys have been saying that quite yet. I'm not sure I have too many trophies. I think I have, let's see, I won an open wheel series about a year ago. I think it was my last one. Then I've got a couple small ones that we had when we were just doing little plaques, little wall hangings. But yeah, the one we got last couple seasons, the GT3 Challenge Trophy has been really big. We might have, but I can't make like 3 of them for the teammates. You know, that gets kind of pricey, so they just get standard plaques for the teammates. But the trophy for the actual series champion last season was really big. But it was, I think it was a 20 race series, and it went right to the wire. It was down. It was the final race before we determined a winner. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you guys don't do anything by halves over there. It's either big or bigger.
Go big or go home, buddy. Go big or go home.
There's no halves. There's no quarters. It's just
no.
full or 150, 200%.
That's right. That's right. So we're 8 minutes in on the qualifying session. Josh Bailing out front with a 132.6. That is flying. And Jason Rabe trailing way behind with a 132.8. 1/10 of a second off of that pace. Chris Springer, Kyle Robinson, and Emmett Lindquist all in the 133s trying to do their fastest lap. Wow, these guys are flying out there.
That's the difference between having a setup and using baseline. Like, you know, there's a good second there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, and these guys are. I mean, you're pretty quick. I mean, you're fast, but you know the mid-pack maniacs like the rest of us in there. We struggle. Even if we had their setups, we wouldn't be as fast as they are.
Oh, you'd actually quite be surprised, actually. Like, everything starts to grip up. Like in that second race, I think got to about lap 12 and everything started.
Yeah.
But in saying that, the baseline setup that I was using actually just let it free up consistently over there. I was doing, you know, mid-4s consistently in race pace, which, you know, on the baselines pretty well. It was enough to.
Yeah, it was enough to pull away. I mean, you ended up, I think it was a 17-second lead at the end. So, yeah, you just, it's the consistency. And the JNR, we're not as consistent. We're just not, we don't run the same lap over and over every time. They're just kind of still that's why we're mid-pack guys. And, you know, it'll be interesting next season. We're going to put everybody in one race and see how it goes. Hopefully it won't scare anybody away.
Yeah, we'll have T1 and T2 will race everyone together. And
yeah, it will be.
That'll help all the JNR guys as well, you know.
Yeah, when you race against
guys and everything else,
yeah,
you know.
You race against faster drivers, it makes you faster. That's for sure.
100%, and you never know; they might be nice enough to send you
at least if they don't run you off the road.
Wow, that might be because of the setup and they got braking ability.
That's true. You might be able to share. Yeah, I don't know how we're going to do teams yet. I think we're just going to let them do whatever team they want. I haven't picked that up yet. So we'll figure it out. I've still got quite a ways to go. It's race number 6. Oh, you know what's really bad? I probably didn't turn on my sound. I bet I didn't. Dang it. Yep, I did. Okay, cool. It's like, man, we've been sitting here talking for 15 minutes. They haven't even any sound turned on. But no, it's on. It's on. The things you worry about. Yeah, I'll let them do the teams they want, most likely, and we'll probably have, you know, some like we're gonna change it to GTD instead of GT3. I'm gonna call it like IMSA is set up. It'll be GTD Pro, and then probably 10 drivers in that, and then GTD. Although I don't want to have like the drivers drop off through the season, so I might like make 12.
Pro and a Pro-Am, like they do.
That's what we're gonna do. But I'm gonna call it Pro and then GTD. like IMSA sets it up, and then everybody's on the track together. But yeah, it's just like the Porsche Cup that they do all over the world. Mostly race in Europe, but
Korea Cup's pretty big here in Australia.
is it? Do they have races there, or do they just broadcast on TV?
No.
They
follow the V8 supercars.
Oh, okay, all right.
And they have a Pro-Am and Pro-Am series together, and they both race, and yeah, it's great. They just was in Gold Coast last weekend.
All right,
A lot of carnage,
nice.
and but some really tight racing. It's nearly like racing around Detroit.
Oh yeah, that's insane. Yeah, Detroit, those street courses, and I've actually tried to race some of the race courses that you guys have down in Australia, and I can tell you guys are nuts. Some of those courses are.
Yeah.
Some of those are so tight.
Yeah. The walls are just too close.
But those guys do it, man.
I actually grew up in Bathurst. So,
okay. That's another one that scares the crap out of me.
Mount Panorama is the ultimate racetrack in the world. Personally, there's so many different elements on that track that you need to consider, which in your setup. So if you do it for one, it's not going to work on the other part, and vice versa, and everything else. So, yeah, it's an engineer's delight.
Yeah, that track is. You gotta have a lot of skill and a lot of guts to go flat out.
Big kahunas. Yep, and some big
kahunas. Yeah, you need them for sure. I mean, you go up on the top there. Was it quarry coming up the hill, and then is it roller coaster? I can't remember what they call it when you come down the hill.
You got the S's and you got the dipper.
The dipper, yeah.
Yep.
And man, you got to hang that left-hand corner blind.
Yep.
If you miss it, you're hard into the wall, either on the inside or the outside or both.
Yeah. And the track either loves you or hates you.
Yeah.
There's nothing in between.
Yeah, we'll see it. We'll actually be seeing it in season 9 for the GT3 challenge. It'll be back for season 9. So
sensational.
We've raced it a few times in our series. It's always fun. This year I went with short tracks, and so far it's been entertaining, but extremely difficult. We actually raced one of our races this season at that little tiny. Let me see if I can find it. It's a Winton Motor Speedway.
Oh yeah, what a great circuit!
Absolutely. Yeah, the S's in there are so tight. You just have to be so patient to get through them.
Yeah, well, we actually call them the boobs.
The boot? Okay.
All right. In Australia is the boobs.
Okay, I'll have to remember that. Because that's the one that boots you in the pants, is what it does.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's a lot of fun.
But it is one of those grassroots tracks that a lot of the guys, a lot of the juniors and the young fellas that come into motorsports cut their teeth on.
Yeah, I can understand that. Well, it looks like Josh, Jason, and Robert have not given anyone any room. Josh is still up front with that 132.6, followed by Jason with the 132.8, Robert with the 133 flat.
Chris and Kyle, they're knocking on the door.
They are. Everybody else, yeah.
And they've probably only got one corner that they've stuffed up, and they've just lost 4 or 5 tenths. So on this track, in this class, it would, you just miss your braking marker by a foot, and you're going to lose 4 or 5 tenths.
We got 6 drivers within a second, and then a couple more within another second. So it's gonna be an interesting race. There's not as many drivers in this session. We've only got, I think, 12 on the racetrack. So we don't have quite as many as we had last time. I think that's one of the reasons we're going to put them all together, so we have more drivers. We only got 11 because you're number 12. Unless you get in and race, It's time to race it's time to race the sprint. Jump in the car, man.
How many laps have we got in the sprint? For this one, 9, is it? Same?
9 or 10. It's usually within one.
All right. Well, I might stay in and drive around and chat to you as I'm driving around.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Go for it. throw some points in.
I'll start at the back.
You already missed qualifying. It's over. You're starting with the back. Yeah. You start in the back or start in the pits. Up to you.
I'll start at the back. I'll start on the grid. But
So
I'm hopeless at starting. As you can see, I'm not used to starting these cars.
Yeah.
And for me, they're very hard to get off the line compared to a supercar.
Oh yeah. You got run over on the start of the feature race. But then
and the first
then
race,
the carnage, yeah. I didn't notice on the first race, but I noticed on the second one they got by you. But you managed to get them by the end of lap 1. You got back by Alex. A really good pass. Waiting on a couple more drivers to jump in their cars. Looks like Chris Springer and Josh, our pole sitter, hasn't jumped in the car quite yet. We'll get him out there in just a second. So we've got Sean Williams from the previous race. Michael Mooney's out there from the previous race. Brian's in there, yep. All right. Well, lights are on. Here we go.
Here we go, lads.
Let's go green. You got Bernie in the waving the flag in the booth, and there it goes. Green flag is out. The two Porsches from Dad Bod Racing out in front, and both of them get a great jump into turn 1 with, I think that's Chris Springer right behind him. It's hard to tell the order until we get to the end of lap 1. Oh, really tight going through turn 3. A lot of side-by-side in the middle of the pack. Robert really wide there. And it looks like he is having some difficulty, but he's got it straightened out now and going. And my connection failed again. I love being in the hotel.
This is a lot slipperier than what was in the first race. Oh my god.
Oh, is it? Track temp a little higher? No, it's actually only 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah.
Just me.
Might just be you're on cold tires and haven't had any warm-up time yet.
Yeah. Oh, I've done 28 laps.
That's true. That's true. But this car, I'm saying this car needs to warm up. I'm having a heck of a time with this broadcast, with this remote. I got my remote console. Not really happy. So yeah, we got Josh and Jason and Chris, followed by Philip, all in the Porsches up front. 4 drivers up front, 4 Porsches. Emmett in the Mercedes in 5th, right behind Philip Scott, and he's followed by Kyle Robinson in P6. Couple cars going wide on the exit of turn 1. Looks like everybody made it through though. Let's jump over here and watch this crazy guy in the 199 car.
Hey, that was the first quarter of the second lap.
Yeah. He's gaining on Mooney. I saw you go a little bit wide on turn 1.
Yeah, left me up.
All right. Up front, Robert dropped back to P7 from a 3rd place starting grid. Now this is just the heat, so this is 10 laps. And this is going to set the order for the feature, which is going to be 20 laps.
Michael's just gone wide.
Lost the spot there. Drops back to P11. He's out there running for all the marbles for Old Guy Racing tonight. I'm on the team, and I'm not there. And our other teammate is also not there tonight. So Mooney's holding on to all our points tonight. for old guy racing. So cut him some slack every once in a while. You caught up with Greg, or maybe not caught up with him, but you're right behind him. He's in front of you on the track by 2 seconds. He's battling with Ryan Fry right now. Ryan in the Mercedes in the JNR race, but he's in the BMW here. Not sure which one he liked better, but it looks like Greg's got a good run on him off of turn 3, and he's going to get him through the S. Side by right nose to tail. He hasn't got any room to get by, though. Close battle here, and this is back in P8. Up front, Josh is kind of taking off with it. Jason is holding back Chris Springer, who is right behind him. Josh with a 1 second lead over his teammate, and Chris, I think, playing the role as the teammate to slow down everybody else.
The rear gunner.
Yep, the rear gunner. There he is. He's got Chris Springer all over the rearview mirror on him. But Chris can't get by. Robert making a move here. Oh, still can't get past. He is right on Emmett Lindquist. Oh, Emmett goes wide in that out of turn 14, and he gets enough. Robert goes by, and I think that might let Kyle go by as well.
We want him to fight more so we can catch up.
Emmett, yeah. Emmett holds on to the spot. Emmett holds on to P6. Kyle Robinson P7. Robert snuck by, though. He's up into the 5th position as they just complete lap number 3. Oh, look at that wide corner, big wide corner by Emmett Lindquist. Lets Kyle Robinson get alongside. Now they're going to go side by side up the hill. Emmett holds on to the spot. There's a battle is what that is. There goes Kyle again trying to get by. This could be the tightest battle on the racetrack, or maybe not, because there's another battle right behind these guys that looks just as intense as this one. And that's Greg and Ryan, and they are going at it. Oh, and I think somebody just went off. Somebody went off. Is it Robert? Nope. I was seeing things. It may have been Phillip, because they're now... No, he's right there in the front. I don't know what I was seeing. I was dreaming.
Seeing those ghosts.
Greg did get by Ryan, and now you're on Ryan's tail, coming down the front straight.
Yeah, he's doing well, putting his car in the right spot, just so I can't get past.
Ryan's a good defender. He's also a pretty quick driver, as long as he usually races pretty clean, but definitely will make it difficult for a car to get by.
It's fun, mate. It's actually fun.
That's the whole art. That's the whole point, I think, of simulator racing is learning the racecraft, learning how to drive the car, learning how to put it where you need to put it, finding that extra tenth coming off a corner to drag down the straightaway and see if you can get them into the next one. Not beating and banging and trying to make your way through. Yeah, no, it's not NASCAR. We don't drive in circles here.
Well, normally we say to you guys, hey, turn right, and I go, what's that?
Yeah. No, I've been a IMSA IndyCar fan far longer than I've been a NASCAR fan. I've watched NASCAR over the years, but it's hard for me to watch consistent racing in NASCAR unless somebody I know is doing well and I can watch them and have fun. But
Should be good next year, I think, he's Bergen.
Yeah,
to shake it up a bit.
most of the time I'll watch. Is he coming to IndyCar or NASCAR?
NASCAR.
Yeah. Well, they brought in Scotty Mack over in IndyCar a couple of years ago, and man, he is something to behold. Man, he is a great driver.
Yeah, he'll be an IndyCar champion before you know it.
Yeah, I believe you're right. He was right there in the top 4, I think, this year. So he was right up there battling it out. He'll get some good wins under his belt, and he'll get a little more confidence in that car. But he came hot out of the box when he first showed up. He was running top 5s right out of the box. So that's impressive for somebody coming in from a completely different classic car. The open wheel is
seem to have a
different.
really good talent pool. They do.
Yeah, they do. They've got. I don't know if you follow the Indy Next series, but IndyCar has a Indy Next series that brings up a lot of drivers from all over the world. I've seen Formula 1 drivers in there, Formula 2, Formula 3 drivers in there. I've seen supercar drivers, NASCAR drivers.
A couple of Aussies in there at the moment.
Yeah, and they bring in a lot of guys from like the North countries in Europe. A lot of fast drivers they bring in. So, and if they do well, they'll pump them up.
That's me gone. Whoa.
Oh no!
I'm gone.
Oh, and Mooney too. Yeah, looks like the front end's gone too.
Sorry about that, Mick. Sorry, dude. Yeah. Like I said, I was just cruising her out and I just missed me brake marker by that little bit.
That happens.
Yeah.
Lap 7. Josh still out front. Lap 7 of 10 here in the sprint. Jason has actually caught up with him, and they have put a gap back now by a second to Chris Springer in the 56. Chris back a little bit, and Philip Scott behind him. And it looks like these two guys in the Porsches, man, they have got it figured out tonight. Josh and Jason up in the front, finishing lap number 7 as they come by the stripe right now, and they are dominantly up front in the lead. Top 5 cars, all Porsches. Next week we're going to see top 10 cars. Everybody's going to go to the Porsche. We should just change it all to make it a Porsche GT3 series. If that's what they're going to race anyway. Chris Springer in 3rd, Philip Scott in the 99. He's in P4. And he has got a 2-second gap up to 3rd place. And 2 seconds behind him is Robert in the 33. That puts him in P5, and that's a point spot. So by him getting those points, that means somebody else can't get them. Even though his 2 teammates are up front, they're going to take the points away.
Absolutely fine in front.
I believe that's a 132.7. Is that what that is? Quickest lap of the race so far, 132.7 by Jason Rave in 2nd spot. Seems to me like the Porsches are a little tough to catch tonight.
And the Porsches are actually good. The new ones. Oh, absolutely. That rear wing is massive.
Well, the one they had in there before seemed to snap.
Yeah. Well, if you know, if Australia, like even like watching them Carrera Cup on last weekend around the street circuit, if they'd even got close to the wall but didn't touch it, the wing was actually scraping across the wall, like it was actually moving.
Wow.
And yeah, no, there was some pretty big downforce there.
Well, if you've got that big of a wing to work with, you can find the middle. You can find a good spot for your downforce. Well, Chris has caught back up to the 2 leaders. He's making it interesting. As they come across the line now, coming across white flag this time by. They're coming through turn 14 now, getting the white flag as they come across the stripe. Josh, Jason, and Chris. 1, 2, 3.
Stay in that rear guard, just not letting Chris trying to get him closer.
Yeah, he's gonna hold him back and make sure his team gets 1, 2. That's smart for points right there, and that also lets the 2 of them start on the front row together. If he can hold Chris off for this last lap, and it looks like he's going to be able to. Philip Scott is running in 4th, Robert Rattray in 5th, Emmett Lindquist in 6th, Ryan Fry, Kyle Robinson, Greg Prochnow in 9th, and Sean Williams takes P10, which means Mooney's going to be in 11th, I believe. And he is parked.
Unfortunately, I took him out on that first corner.
Yeah, he's parked in the pits, so he is not going to finish on the racetrack.
Yeah, I was going to. If I came out, I would have come out a couple of seconds ahead of him. So it wasn't worth me going out. I'll step back and let the guys go. I had some fun.
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's all good. It's good to have you on the racetrack.
Yeah, well, I don't get to race with you guys very often. We generally work over here on your Sundays. So it's, I've got
Monday
an
morning?
RDA today. Yep,
Yeah.
Monday mornings.
Well, that happens.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've got to work to pay the bills. Or pay for my racing.
And there it is, the end of the sprint. Josh, Jason, Chris, Philip, Robert. As we now watch Emmett, Ryan. Ryan gets by Kyle. And Ryan takes P7 away. Not sure how he did that. Missed that piece. But that'll do it. That is the end of the sprint race. We got about a 3-minute break here. I'm going to step away for just a minute. 3 minutes, and we'll be right back at the action. Thanks for tuning in, and congrats to our leaders, our winners.
Yep.
On the sprint race.
I'm going to bounce today, guys. Thanks for listening, and thanks for the chat, Ronnie. And hopefully I can come back and do it again.
All right. Love to have you, Matt. Thanks.
No worries. And enjoy, guys.
Yep. Take it easy out there.
There you guys.
All right. Bye. We'll be right back here on the broadcast here in just a few minutes. You got a 3-minute warm-up, which is already 1 minute in, so be back before you know it. See how many we get for the feature race. We got just under a minute here in the warm-up. We're going to line them up and get them going again. Ron here in the broadcast booth here at Big Wizurd TV. Big thanks to our sponsors, Stair Fittings Incorporated, for keeping us on the air and keeping everything running. Also, league sponsor for East to West Racing, JNR Craftworks, and always sponsor Grandpa's Kitchen. Hey, if you need information about that, stair fittings you can find at orders.stairfittings.com. They give you all the parts and pieces you need to set up the best looking stairs you've ever seen. I have a set of them in my house, and oak wood stairs with absolutely beautiful handrails and balusters. And it's just incredible. It's beautiful work. They do great work, and you can have them too. Orders.stairfittings.com. Also, JNR Craftworks. JNR Craftworks makes all our trophies. They make custom awards and trophies for iRacing series and iRacing leagues. And great stuff. And as well as Grandpa's Kitchen. Now, I love Grandpa's Kitchen. They are a 1-to-1 flour substitute. And they have a discount. You can go to their website, grandpaskitchen.com, and you can get a discount by using code BWTV. That's Big Wizurd TV. Use that code to get you 10% off on every order, every time. Good stuff. I've had the brownies. I've had the cookies. I've had muffins. I've had cakes, cupcakes, so many different things with the gluten-free flour. I'm telling you what, you can't tell the difference. I'm not somebody that does gluten-free. If you've seen me, you understand I'm not a gluten-free kind of guy. But they make great stuff, great product, and it tastes great. So if you're somebody that needs that or know somebody that does, jump out there and check out their website, grandpaskitchen.com. Making sure I'm actually live on the stream instead of delayed like I was before. And the start is off, and away we go down the front stretch. And Jason and Josh take turn one again. And they are too wide behind them, trying to get through. Robert and Kyle nose side by side as they are going through turn two. And Kyle looks like he might have the spot. Nope, he goes wide. Although sometimes that wide line gives you the better launch on the exit. There goes Ryan Fry trying it. He might be able to get alongside Robert here as they go up the hill into turn 6 and 7. Kyle Robinson took that spot away. And man, Ryan is all over the back here of Robert as they're coming down into turn 9, the hairpin. Our leaders out front, as it was. It hasn't changed. Josh Bailey, Jason Rabe, Chris Springer, Philip Scott, Kyle Robinson. The top four, at least, have not changed since the start of the sprint race. They don't get away. They're just managing that gap. But it looks to me like Chris Springer is really pushing. And he doesn't want to sit there behind the tail gunner, as Maddie was calling him earlier. Doesn't want to sit there behind the tail gunner and watch from the back row. He wants to get up there and battle for the lead. So we'll see if he's got what it takes. They're coming down the front stretch now. Can he get the draft? Can he get alongside? He sure seems close as you're looking at him, but I don't think he's close enough as they dive down into turn 1 and they stay in line. The two Porsches from Dad Bod Racing out front, followed by Chris Springer and Philip Scott. Missing a lot of the GT3 regulars here tonight. It is still race on as Josh and Jason have taken this race, taken this track, and just taken it by storm. Greg Prochnow gets by Ryan Fry. That was a battle we had last race, and it's on again. Greg gets in front. Ryan back to P8. There's Robert right in front of him. Not Robert. Robert is in front of the two of them. Robert in front of Greg. Robert Rattray there in P6. Kyle Robinson running in P5. He is right behind Philip Scott, and that's the Porsche of Robert Rattray right behind him. Finishing up lap number 2. This is a 26-lap race. This feature going a little longer than the previous one. Emmett Lindquist failed to start the race. Matty Parker also did not start the race. Let's Mooney start the race in P10. We'll see if he can make some ground up. He's got Sean Williams in front of him, and Mooney's going to try to get the most points he can. He's the only guy running tonight, an old guy racing, because I'm a little too far from my race rig, about 1,500 miles away, and the ever hardworking Tires Plus sponsored TJ Allman not behind the wheel tonight. Watch this action up front, as I think there's going to be a little close action here as we get this thing going. Missing a lot of normals tonight. Brandon Dooley, Morgan Teggy, Rich Hibbs. A lot of our regulars out of town today. Missing this one. Maybe they're off watching a real race in another town away from their home. Who knows? Race fans through and through. Every one of these guys out here loves auto racing. They all watch it. They all follow it. This week was the Sao Paulo Grand Prix in Formula One. I haven't been able to watch much of it except for qualifying. As we watch Chris Springer try his best to get by Jason Rave and take away P2 so he can battle up front. This is a long race. This isn't just a 10-lap sprint, so we'll see how this works out. He's got some time. He can be patient. He's got pit strategy available to him. We'll see who does what and when. There's probably about 8 laps in, you'll start seeing cars go into the pit lane. In the hills of Maryland, Western Maryland, we bring you the remote studio of Big Wizurd TV tonight. Don't have Breezy online tonight. Don't know what happened to him. He was about to start the last race. He was on the circuit, but then he never started it. And he usually watches this one, so missing you out there, Breezy. Don't know what happened to you. Only 10 on the track tonight. My performance is weak. Keep losing connection. Every once in a while, Chris gets real close, and then Jason moves up on the back of Josh. Dadbod Racing, which is Jason, Josh, and Robert, have taken the lead in the points of the team battle for Season 8. A lot of their competitors missing drivers tonight, missing plenty of drivers tonight. So they are going to pull ahead again. Hey, there's one. Who's that out there on the stream? It's good to see you out there. Yeah, I'm hoping you get that router fixed too, by the way. Get back on the racetrack. It is tough. It is tough. You know, the comment here, I don't know if everybody's watching the comment, but you have network issues at your house, and this is a simulator, right? I mean, it's a simulator, and you're on your computer at your house, and it's bouncing off a server somewhere, you know, somewhere in the country. We usually host East Coast servers, because most of our drivers are East Coast. But what happens is the server doesn't get the timing right when you have a slow internet connection or a problem with your internet connection. And you could be right next to somebody, and even though you're right next to them on your screen, they're actually hitting you on the real server screen to cause errors, and it causes what they call netcode. When you don't see the cars making contact, but the server sees the cars making contact. So by doing that, it causes wrecks and things, and then you're like, well, I didn't really do anything, but every time I get near somebody, I wreck. So that's usually a netcode issue. But yeah, it's good to be on the track and racing, but it's not good to be on the track and wrecking, especially when it's not your fault. Just the computers don't like each other. This battle for second spot is really heating up. Chris Springer throwing the pressure down hard here on the back of Jason Rabe. Chris all over the back of him here. Can he get a run? He doesn't seem to be able to get a run. I think Jason is just enough in the draft of Josh. This rear gunner tactic they've got, it seems to be working really well. As Jason catches up as they get to turn one, and then Josh starts to pull away, and it holds the rest of the field behind him. This reminds me of a Mercedes v Ferrari battle in Formula One a couple years ago, when one of them would get out front and they'd slow the other guy down behind them so they couldn't catch and couldn't get by, and that would let the leader run away. Now, I can tell you from this, it's not quite the same, because Josh is not running away. He's right there. The top three separated by less than a second as Chris puts on the pressure and tries to get in the middle of these two cars. I think if he can split these two cars, he might have a chance at battling for the lead here, and maybe using a pit strategy or something to try to get out in front. What they can do is they can take a little bit less fuel. That you know, it might only be 0.2, 0.3 of a second if you take a little bit less fuel. But in this battle right here, 2 or 0.3 of a second is all it's going to take, because nobody's getting away from anyone, and they're right together. Finishing up lap 7, coming around turn 14 down the front straightaway, starting up lap 8. Chris is in a great spot. This is probably the best position he's been in all night. He gets a nose in. He's coming down alongside to see if he can outbrake him. Jason brakes late, and they're side by side into one. Oh, Chris has got a spot, but the next turn turns in favor of the car on the outside. Jason puts his car in the exact correct position and holds on to P2. That was as close as Chris has gotten so far, and they're still less than a second apart up front. We just had the GT3 Contender Series tonight. Matty Parker won that one. He joined us in the booth for the sprint race here in the GT3 Challenge. The GT3 Contender Series runs on Sundays right before this one through the end of Season 8. Season 9, it'll all be one. It'll be the JNR Craftworks GTD Challenge Series. And we're going to have GTD Pro and GTD all running together in that one coming up in Season 9. And both sets of drivers are looking forward to racing out there together and having a little bit bigger field. Right now, we've got 10 active drivers on the racetrack here tonight in this race. We're hoping to have about 20 to 25 in the races next season. Quite a few drivers racing just one or the other of these two series. We're going to stick them all back together. We had them together a few years ago. I separated them out so the mid-pack maniacs had a chance to do their own battling. But what we're going to do is we're going to separate them out by GTD Pro and GTD and allow the mid-pack maniacs to still battle for their own championship. They'll just be on the track at the same time the GTD Pro guys are on the track. So it should be a lot of fun. It's going to run very similar to the way IMSA does their thing. And there'll be 2 different races at the same time with the same cars on the same track. Sometimes you'll see the GTD drivers get up and battle with the pro drivers. It's just that we're going to take the drivers that are faster and stick them in one class, and everybody else goes in the other class. But they're all going to be in the same car. Anybody can drive any of the 8 sanctioned GT3 class iRacing cars. Right now, it's split, and these are the fast drivers, and anybody can drive in this race. And then the GTD or the GT3 Contender Series by JNR Craftworks, that one is earlier, and that's mid-pack maniacs. If you finish with an average finish of top 10 or better, then we'd rather have you not race in the GTD or the GT3 Contender Series. But next season, all back in one. Everybody together. Keeping it real. Chris, a little bit too far back this time. He's got to run, but not enough to get by into turn 1. But he does push Jason right back to the bumper. This is kind of how he did it a couple laps ago. It is lap 10 now. So he's been trying this for a while, and he's been learning as he goes here. Chris learning if he can and how, if he can, get by Jason for P2. And split those top 2 drivers so you can see if he can make a run on the front. Josh, Jason, Chris, Philip, Robert are your top 5. Kyle here in P6, followed by Greg. As soon as I start moving around, I lose my connection. Greg in P7, Ryan Fry in P8. And this back section of the field is spreading out as Sean is in P9 and Michael Mooney in P10. And that is the field for this one tonight. This looks familiar. This looks extremely familiar. Chris not quite close enough. He's got to get a little closer off of that last corner and get that draft down the front straightaway so we can get alongside. And it looks to me like if he wants to get alongside, he gets along the outside to make the pass. Robert Rattray just takes away P4 from Philip Scott. Now Robert heading to the front. Chris closer than he was before. If he can hold that gap when he gets around to that final corner, he might be able to do something. I think when he gets to that point in the race where Josh is actually holding him up, then that's when Chris is going to be able to pounce, because I don't think Jason is going to battle with his teammate unless they make some kind of an agreement. They just swap spots. These guys do use team race channels. During the race, they have their own Discord channels in the server, and they can actually talk to each other. There's also race control out there, but I don't think he's around tonight. Good thing we haven't had a lot of incidents on the racetrack and shouldn't need that one here tonight. At least hope we don't, as these guys get closer and closer. Oh, and there we go. There we go. Lap 11. Chris Springer goes in the pits. Robert Rattray is now the 3rd man on this 1-2-3 Dad Bod Racing team up at the front. You know, the chairs in hotel rooms are not the chairs from your race rig. Not at all. Not at all. Yes, rookie drivers can enter. Any driver is welcome to enter in the series. So yeah, the GT3 Contender Series, JNR Craftworks GT3 Contender, which is right before this season for Season 8, that might be a better spot for rookie drivers. These guys here battle it out pretty much like this the whole time. They're all really, really fast. But you can race in it. GT3 Challenge has no restrictions. GT3 Contender may be a better fit, as we have another driver out of the race. Who has dropped out of the race? John Williams has dropped out of the race. So Sean lost connection, unfortunately, drops out of P9. And he's fallen back. That puts Mooney up into P9 from P10. Josh out front, Jason right behind him now. The two of them right together almost. Robert in third. Philip Scott is a little bit behind him, about a second back behind Robert. And he is in P4. Kyle Robinson in fifth. Greg Prochnow, Ryan Fry, Chris Springer coming out of the pits. Drops back to P8. He is on the bumper of Ryan Fry right now. And as of right now, Chris is the only driver who has taken the pits, has gone into the pits so far. So he pit early. We're just approaching halfway. And still going here. Just past the halfway mark. As Jason gone in the pits? Jason is in the pits. Jason has taken pit lane, and he is going to get some fuel. They got to get a minimum of fuel to get through the end of the race. They don't have to get tires, but they can. We'll see where Jason comes out in relation to Chris Springer, especially if my computer would stop freezing every time I switch cameras. Sorry about the little black spots in there. That's me coming back in, apparently. And that is going to be a pass, maybe. As Chris gets alongside of Ryan and does make that pass. Through the S's, up the hill. And he's going to want to be out in front of Jason. Where is Jason? He is in front of Jason. So Chris made the move and got out in front of Jason with pit strategy there. And he is a good chunk in front of him, 5 seconds in front now. So the undercut has worked, at least for P2. But he's still got Josh Bailing and Robert Rattray to deal with, and he had to slow down there to get by Ryan Fry. Even a little bit, he had to do it. Yeah, if you've got friends, we do... he'll be able to race. If he's brand new to the iRacing platform, he can still race. We also have other races throughout the week. We run a Saturday night, kind of like a door slammer, just a regular Saturday night, everybody in the same car, fixed setups kind of race. Right now we're doing the GR86. We might end up in the TCR class next season with that one. And then... you can also run the open wheel stuff. Right now we're doing the Formula Ford 1600, the Ray. Next season we'll probably be in the F4 car. Oh! Whoa! Chris Springer comes around. Oh, and that's going to hurt his run to the front, as he was doing really, really good trying to get up, and he let Jason by. And he's not going to have that undercut now, as that spin is going to throw him back to P7. It's going to be really hard to get him above that. But we'll see when Josh comes in the pits. Keep an eye on him up front. He's got Robert in tow. Robert's teammate, just 0.7 of a second behind him. As they're going through turn 3 now and up the hill. That's the newly redesigned turn 3 that has changed on this racetrack for this year for iRacing. Changed it a few years ago for the real racetrack, and we're running it in iRacing this year. Just had the track rescan not too long ago, and this is our first official race in the GT3 Challenge that runs on this racetrack. So yeah, anybody can join in the Contender Series. Anybody can join our open wheel Thursday night races. Anybody can join any of these races. All they got to do is join us on Discord. So if you're on Discord already, send them an invite, have them come over to Discord. They read through the rules, agree to the rules, and we'll set them up in the league, and away they go. Yeah, that's how you do it. And then they'll have access to all the races, and they can join in whenever they want. Lap 16 of 26. At the end of this one, we've got 10 to go. Here they come across the line, and they're diving for the pits, both of them. First and second place. Oh! And contact between the two leaders as they enter pit lane. Is that going to affect the cars at all? What will that do to the race cars? Now, they do have one fast repair, so they can use it on that pit stop. They can use that fast repair if they did get damaged. That might be a good idea, as the two of them got together coming into the pit lane. Right now, Philip Scott takes the point. Kyle Robinson moves into second position, followed by Robert, then Josh, as Robert gets out of the pits ahead of his teammate by a lot, and they're both in front of Jason Rabe. So with pit stops complete, Robert Rattray takes the point, technically, behind Philip Scott and Kyle Robinson. And I think we need to watch what's going on back here, as Jason battling with Ryan here late in the race. 10 to go. Ryan catching up here to Jason in P5. What's going to happen to Philip Scott when he comes in? How's he going to blend out? How's that going to work? Now, during that pit exchange, Josh and Jason are in the same spot at the end of it, but Robert has moved ahead of both of them, and unfortunately Chris with his spin has dropped back quite a bit. So Chris pretty much out of contention at this one, but his spin puts him back a little bit in the race. Now Josh, Jason, and Ryan running in P4, 5, and 6 will move up when Philip and Kyle take the pit lane. Philip saying, not yet, not yet. I have enough fuel. I'm not going to pit for a little while longer. Now those guys are all in the Porsche up front, all those guys that were up front. So if he may have put a little bit more fuel in the car at the beginning, he may be able to get a lap or two more out of it with a little bit of fuel save. He's going to have to come in sooner or later, because him and Kyle have not yet pit, but I think everyone else has. Michael Mooney has moved in front of Greg Prochnow, but Michael Mooney and Ryan Fry also have not yet pit. Here's our leader at the moment, Philip Scott, coming around through turn 12. That's that chicane hairpin. We should come up with a name for that. A hairpin or something. No? Haircane? That's worse. And Philip going around at least one more time as he comes across the start-finish line. And he is putting down some pretty good laps, so hopefully he can make this work. He's running on that light fuel, and he's really getting the lap times in right now. Last time around, Philip in the 133s. Kyle in the 134s. And these two still out on the racetrack, not yet going in to get the fuel. 6 to go this time by as they finish up lap 19. We'll keep an eye here on Philip. He goes through turn 9, through the hairpin there. Somewhat of a hairpin. Not sure which one's more of a hairpin, 9 or 10. Phillips still out front. Has a substantial lead over second place Kyle Robinson. If Philip is able to do this overcut, he was in fourth prior to the pit stop starting. Here he comes. He's coming in the pit lane now. Let's keep an eye on Robert Rattray and see where Robert is in comparison to Philip when he comes out of the pit lane. He's coming through turn 12 now. Philip's still moving in the pit lane. Stop now, getting his service. Robert coming around the final corner. And he brought Kyle Robinson with him. So Kyle Robinson also in the pit lane. And here goes a battle for the lead. Is Josh coming down alongside Philip, moving. And Philip did make it out in front of him. There he is. You can see him, Philip, with the massive undercut or overcut there. And has gone through the pit lane and taken the lead through pit strategy. Yeah, Sean, I saw you disappear, but I didn't know what happened. So, man, I'm sorry to hear that you got dropped off the server. The race is still running here. We've got just 5 laps to go as they come across the line this next time. And Philip Scott, pit strategy. I believe, if I remember right, he did the same thing in the last time we raced here. And I think he gained a bunch of spots. I don't think he won the race, but he was way up front. He may have won it. But right now he is at the point, Philip Scott, all the drivers up front have made their pit stops. And Philip is ahead by a second, followed by that's Josh Baling, Robert Rattray, and Jason Rabe. All trying to catch him now, with Chris Springer now caught up with the back of this group. He's still got a little gap there. Chris has about a 6-second gap between him and Jason. He spun earlier in the race and lost his excellent undercut option that he had going, and is now back behind. Still in P5 though. Should have a good or P6 anyway. Should have a good finish for Chris in this one. But unbelievable pit strategy by Philip Scott. Takes him from 4th to 1st through the pit exchange. And this one, Josh is not going to let up easy. Josh is going to try to chase him down here. But that is the battle for 3rd right there. That is Robert Rattray and his teammate Jason Rabe. And these guys are really going at it hard here. I'm not sure if Robert got a little bit of front end damage when they came into the pit lane, or if he got that repaired when he was in there. They did make a little bump between him and Josh as they entered the pits. And he came out in front of Josh, and Josh still managed to get by him. So Josh Bailing very fast out there on the racetrack. Has almost caught up with the leader. This is the battle for the lead right here. And as they go by the line this time, 5 to go, 5 laps to go. No mistakes. Philip Scott, no mistakes. And he can stay up there and try to battle for this lead. Either one of those make a bobble, the other guy's got it, hands down. Josh with a good run off the corner. Does he have enough to try the slipstream? Look at that. Phillips holding off that inside. He's taking the inside line. I'm not sure that's the preferred line. Jason around the outside. It works for turn 1, but if he can hold on to the outside, he gets it in turn 2. And Phillip takes it with command into turn 1 on the inside and just holds it all the way out to the outside. No way Josh was getting by there. Here he goes into turn 3. It looks to me like that outside line of turn 3 is the preferred line as they go through that corner. I've seen it all night long now. And anybody who manages to hang that out on the outside and keep the throttle down, keep that power down, gets a lot of momentum as they go up the hill. Now down the hill into the hard braking zone for turns 8 and 9 into the hairpin. And Robert Rattray holding off Jason Rabe here in this 3rd spot. Oh no, Jason got by. Jason has got by. I thought I just saw him in front of him. So Jason moves up to P3, puts Robert back to 4th. And that puts Dadbod in 2, 3, 4. Well, keeps Dadbod Racing in the positions 2, 3, and 4. And that's going to take a lot of points away from everybody else tonight. A lot of the other big teams not showing up with a lot of drivers here tonight, missing out on this points-paying race where Dadbod Racing is capitalizing. But right now, Philip Scott stealing all the points away, sitting up in front. And he is flying. And at the moment, Josh not able to catch. It does change throughout the race, though. There's still 4 more laps to go. You never know what'll happen in 4 laps. We'll keep an eye on this battle right here up front. As Josh in 2nd wants the lead. Philip Scott has the lead. And Philip does not want to let it go. As we get close to the finish, instead of breaking away for a commercial, how about I just mention our sponsors? Big shout out to our Big Wizurd TV sponsor, Stair Fittings Incorporated. Thanks to those guys for keeping us on the air. They can get you all kinds of cool stuff for your stairs. They have accessories, they have treads, they have the skirts and the handrails and the baluster. They can get everything. Check them out. Orders.stairfittings.com. JNR Craftworks, makers of fine artwork, crafts, and many other things, including custom awards and trophies for iRacing series. Jeff at JNR Craftworks puts all the trophies together for E2WR Racing. And also Grandpa's Kitchen, grandpaskitchen.com, where you can get a 1-to-1 flour substitute for baking. Good stuff. Oh, and look at this. Look at this. Josh trying the outside. Philip holding that inside line. I think if Josh can stay on the outside through the turn, I think he might have an advantage going into turn 2. But Philip running through the corner quicker gets that spot. Oh! Side by side as they go through turn 3. But Philip again with the better exit has the line, and he's going to take him up the hill with just 2 more laps to try. At the end of this one, we'll see if Josh can get him. They'll probably stay nose to tail till we get to the start-finish line again. And then we'll see it again. We'll see what happens. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Whoa! And that is the 99 around. Battle ended. Battle ended. Josh Bailing takes the point. I don't know if there was any contact. I was looking at messages at the time. Hopefully there was no contact. Battle for the lead is now pretty much done. We've got 2 more to go. We're coming up to the white flag lap at the end of this one. Josh has taken the lead. Jason in second. Robert in third. Philip moved back to 4th position in the 99. And he is going again, but he is not where he was. Not sure what happened. I missed it. Chris Springer has moved up into P5. Puts Greg Prochnow to P6. Ryan Fry, followed by Kyle Robinson and Michael Mooney in 9th. Trying to figure out what happened to Sean Williams. He got kicked out of the server. Which is what I was talking about when I missed the action up front. Kyle Robinson comes across the line. Or that's Chris Springer coming across the line. And we are on the white flag lap. Josh Bailing out in the front. He's got a 1-second lead over teammates Jason Rabe and Robert Rattray. Philip Scott, Chris Springer, Greg Prochnow, Ryan Fry, Kyle Robinson, Michael Mooney are the field of 9 drivers still on the racetrack. Final lap of the race. Coming around through turns 9 and 10 hairpins now. Track slightly redesigned for this season. iRacing caught up with the track redesign and has published it for us here on iRacing. So we can race it now too. And has proven to be very entertaining, as a lot of fun, and this is a tight racetrack, tough to pass. Making it fun out there, the guys out there in the E2WR Racing Series. And I'm frozen again. For the finish. Gotta freeze it up. And there they go across the line. Josh, Jason, Robert, take the flag first. Here comes the 99. Across the line in P4. Chris Springer is going to finish in 5th. Sorry about the blackouts. But hey, we are finishing up with this one. We've got a couple more drivers to go here. Kyle Robinson comes across. He is followed closely by Ryan Fry. Kyle just gets by him there in the last corner and comes across the start-finish line and takes away P7 from Ryan as they come across the line. Kyle takes 7th, Ryan takes 8th, and Mooney comes in P9 after his early incident in the sprint. Comes in 9th place. And that'll do it for our race tonight. Let's see if we can go to the lobby and catch somebody for a little bit of a chat. We'll see if anybody's around for the post races. Let's go to the lobby here.
Fast and annoying.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey.
We were having fun, some of us.
Some of you, yeah. That's good. Having fun's what it's all about. I was hoping some of the other guys would come down too and talk. What happened to their race? I was wondering what happened to Sean. He's down. No, Sean, I know he dropped out. He got booted from the server somehow. But I was trying to figure what happened to Philip Scott. I don't see Philip anywhere. But Philip was
and Emmett Lindquist too.
Well, Emmett dropped. He dropped somewhere in the sprint or after the sprint. He did not start unless he did start.
No, he did not start the main.
Philip was leading the feature with 3 laps to go and ended up 4th. And he was sideways, so I wanted to see if it was assisted or not. I didn't catch it on the camera. So, hoping he would talk to me about it. But I have no Philip here in the booth.
Hey, we'll talk about our stuff. Greg was really good. And Sean was good, driving really well for the longest period of time. And then just trying to drive behind him and actually zero exit. And then looped it and somehow got still a 0x out of that. And then proceeded to give it back when I was racing with Greg. So...
It was a fun race to call. I'm glad it was a good race out there. Seemed like a lot of fun. Dad Bod Racing pretty much took that one. I'm going to jump down into their lobby and talk to them for a minute.
Okay. Do that. Thank you.
It was a 37 and a 59. So there's 7 seconds.
That's a 38 and a 2.
There's 4 seconds. There's 4 seconds.
Hey, Ron.
How's it going?
Hey, Ryan.
Good. How you doing?
Oh man, took the clean sweep. 1, 2, 3. Took the whole podium. Dad Bod Racing.
Trying.
That was the plan.
Yeah. You guys. Pit strategy was interesting. Robert, you came out of the pits ahead with the pit strategy. So I don't know what happened there. Less fuel, maybe, or.
I'm not sure. I think Josh was still recovering from me hitting his ass going into the pits.
I did notice that. I didn't know if that threw Josh for a loop or not.
Oh, that definitely threw me off a little.
It definitely threw him off.
But got back in front and.
Well, tell him tell him to slow down at the line, past the speed limit.
When it tells you to slow down.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Good race out there, guys. Nice top 3. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought Philip had you, man. I thought he had you. Come out of his pit strategy was perfect.
Well, his in lap and out lap are 4 seconds faster than mine, so that's where he picked up the 4 seconds.
Yeah, and he jumped out in front of you guys. I thought he had it, and then with 2 to go, going through the turn 12 chicane, he just kind of popped sideways.
Yeah, I was pushing him too hard. I overheated his tires, I think.
Well, that was his weak point. That chicane there, that last little carousel thing, that was his weak point because that's where I got him in the race as well.
Well, that was a great race. It was a lot of fun to watch. So, thanks for putting on a good show for everybody.
Oh, thanks, Lachette. Thanks.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next race. Have fun out there.
See ya.
Later.
Bye.